When it comes to cars, there are so many of them. Every manufacturer wants their cars to stand out. That's why they either come up with the highest speeds or the uniquest designs. Sometimes these designs end up getting a lot of hype and everyone loves them, but that isn't always the case. Sometimes they turn out to be pretty weird. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be looking at 10 of the most unusual cars that have ever been made. But before we begin, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So without further ado, let's look at some really strange cars. Number 1. The 1953 General Motors Firebird 1XP21. Imagine if a jet aircraft and a car had a baby. Well, it would pretty much look like the 1953 General Motors Firebird 1XP21. And the best part, this car is actually a jet fighter. Well, a jet fighter on the road, you could say. It has fins, 4 wheels, a bubbled cockpit, and a turbine engine. And I'm sure this will surprise you, but this turbine engine could generate up to 370 horsepower. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal for now, but imagine a 370 horsepower car made in the 50s. That's crazy. Number 2. The 1942 Oeuf Electrique. Oeuf Electrique is French for electric egg, and this car is actually nothing less than an electric egg. This egg-shaped car, designed by French designer Paul Arzens, is among one of the first few electric cars ever made. I mean, can you even believe electric cars existed in 1942? Way before Elon Musk decided to make one. This bubble with 3 wheels was made out of hand-formed aluminum and curved plexiglass, and even though it's a strange design, it is definitely one of the most iconic car designs. Number 3. The 1932 Ford Speedster. This design is definitely a weird one, but you have to give it points for how unique it is. Well, this uniqueness is the reason people actually love the design and call it a beauty. But its design isn't the only great thing about it. You know, automatic starter buttons are pretty common in cars now, but this one car introduced it decades before it became standard. Moreover, it has a flathead V8 engine, and its sleek, lightweight exterior was built specifically for speed. There was only one problem with the design, and it was the front grille. The front grille was way too small, which prevented the proper amount of airflow to reach the radiator. Number 4. The 1970 Ferrari Pininfarina 512S Modulo. Okay, this car's resemblance with submarines might make you think it's an underwater car, but don't be fooled. It's actually not suitable for water. Pininfarina has created many designs that have gotten a lot of hype, but with the 512 Modulo, they weren't really focused on the aesthetic. All they cared about was the speed. For that reason, Paolo Martin put the body of the car on the chassis of a Ferrari F12S race car. Even though it's not conventional, this car still has a pretty marvelous design though. And the best, most unique thing about it are the 27 holes in the engine cover, which perfectly shows off the 550 horsepower V12 engine. Number 5. The 1959 Cadillac Cyclone. An egg-shaped car, a jet fighter on the road. Yes, those are weird. But can you imagine a car without headlights? Well, the 1959 Cadillac Cyclone has 2 black cones instead of headlights. So you might be wondering, what are these black cones? Well, they're actually radars that can sense and avoid a crash. Cadillac equipped a crash avoidance system way before Tesla. In this car, if an approaching object was sensed, the radars would set off warning lights and a very high-pitched beep with it. The brakes would be applied right away. Oh, also, if you think this car weirdly resembles a rocket a lot, it's true. The design was heavily influenced by rocket designs of the 50s. Number 6. The 1956 Buick Centurion. On the first look, the 1956 Buick Centurion might seem like a completely normal car, but it was way ahead of its time. You know the rear back camera that is so popular in cars now? Well, this car has that, but back in 1956. Can you believe it? Oh, but that's not the only weird part. This car also has a clear bubble roof. You might compare this to sunroofs we have on the cars now, but no, a clear roof was a little more efficient. It really helped give passengers and the driver a complete unobstructed view of the surrounding. Number 7. 1936 Stout Scarab. If you think the design of this car somewhat resembles the front of an airplane, well, that's because the designer of this car, William Stout, previously worked as an aircraft engineer before he turned to designing automobiles. His company, Stout Airlines, was the first one to introduce in-flight meals, so he knew how to combine luxury and transport. This car is a great example of that. It's like a diner on the road with an aluminum body and a V8 engine. The Scarab was truly huge for the 30s, but considering the high price, it didn't really take off. Number 8. The 1951 GM LeSabre. Now, fins and a wraparound windshield have become common in cars, but the 1951 GM LeSabre was the first car ever to have those. The LeSabre has a 225 aluminum block V8 engine with 2 superchargers, that could release a total of 335 horsepower. For the 50s, 335 horsepower was huge, but that's not all. The moisture sensor on this car was definitely way ahead of its time. The sensor could raise the roof of a convertible as soon as it rained. I don't know about you, but I'm really shocked to see such advanced technology that existed back in the 50s. Number 9. The 1970 Lancia Bertone Stratos HF0. I don't know about you, but to me, this 1970 Lancia Stratos HF0 definitely looks straight out of a sci-fi hero movie. You know, a car that the hero gets in to go and save the day, but the design isn't as fancy as the movie. It was actually pretty inefficient. Considering the car was only 33 inches tall, drivers had to enter through the windshield. Well, that couldn't have been fun, right? Also, the car only has a 115 horsepower V6 engine, so it wasn't the best, but it has definitely gotten a lot of hype. In fact, it was exhibited in Bertone's museum for many years. Number 10. The 1955 Messerschmitt Kr200. Just like the Electrique, this car was also a three-wheeled bubble-shaped vehicle. I know it might seem like a very strange design now, but back in its day, it was actually considered a huge success, and almost 12,000 cars were sold in only the first year. Due to its weird design, it has gotten the title of the cabin scooter, which is true because it's like a scooter and also a cabin. And the best part of this car was that it came in 3 styles: a coupe, a convertible, and also a roadster. And with that, we come to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, peace out.